Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. When last we left off we were having a conversation with Wade Woodson.
Back
and
again,
we're going to finish that off quickly.
What can I help you with?
And then we're going to explore the rest of the Citadel. So, what do you think of General Vargas?
Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about the General when I'm sitting right next to him, am I?
You better not, Woodson. I'll take away your smokes ration.
See? But seriously, I think the General has been a wise and cautious leader these past 15 years. Some of the boys may think he keeps it a little too cautious, but they're not the ones who have to feel the calls when good men die. Since we started hearing these strange broadcasts, he decided that the quiet times are over, and his place is here, on the air, listening to the people of the wastes and sending his troops into battle.
And what do you mean by quiet?
Well, we spent the 15 years since we defeated the base code chief's AI retrenching, rebuilding the Citadel, rebuilding our numbers, solidifying our position. It made us a stronger organization, I think. But we also have a smaller footprint now, and some of the places we used to patrol have kind of fallen off the map. Now, though, I think it's time to wake up. The world is changing. These crazy broadcasts, the Red Scorpions in the old prison, reports of trade routes to the east where we thought there was nothing but radiation. If the Rangers still want to be a force for good in the world, then we gotta start stepping out beyond our own backyard.
Well, that's a good point. Man, you have got a lot to say. Okay, let's, east. East of what?
We always thought the radiation east of the prison was just too strong, and that travel that way was impossible. But now the Scorpions are claiming they've established trade with a community beyond the radiation called Damanta, and also with a group calling themselves the Servants of Titan. We're not welcome in Scorpion territory, so we can't check the truth of all of this. But they do seem to be getting better weaponry from somewhere, so maybe it's legit.
And anything to say about the prison?
Our old home base. Not bad for what it was, but we've been outgrowing it for decades. When we cleared the previous owners out of this place, we saw an opportunity to make a move.
And what do the skies have to do with it?
Well, it's only a theory, but my guess is that the fallout that's been floating around
about
up
the
there
radio
in the
broadcast
ionosphere
again.
since the war has been muddying things up there, stopping long-range broadcasts from being reflected back to Earth. Now maybe the fallout is starting to decay, and the ionosphere is slowly returning to normal, allowing it to reflect radio waves like it used to back in the good old days. Or not. I only know what I read in salvage books.
Whatever caused it, we're definitely picking up more distant radio signals these days than we were able to even 3 months ago. Strange how most of this dialogue they've got people talking it, and then there's those odd little snippets where they just, I don't know, they must have just forgot to get the voiceover for it, I guess. So you just have to put up with me. So what is a repeating? No, I don't think we need to ask that. You know about Hypal?
I'm so glad you were able to save High Pool. Its reservoir and treatment plant provides water for us and the other communities in the area.
And what do you know about Ag Center?
I'm very sorry you weren't able to save Ag Center. They were doing so much to develop hardier animal and plant stock that would survive out here in the wastes. It's a real blow to have lost them.
They were messing with nature. It was never going to turn out good in the first place. You've heard of Damanta?
I've been hearing the Red Scorpions radio chatter about this place for more than a year now. They claim it's somewhere beyond the eastern radiation clouds. I hope they're right. The radio tower that Gilbert says is rumored to be there could be our only hope for tracking down those mysterious broadcasts.
And the base code Chief's AI, what's that?
It was the Rangers' greatest enemy, though really all it was a malfunctioning machine. The mainframe of a pre-war military facility that somehow got it into its circuit board head that everybody in the world was its enemy. It started pumping out robots to defend itself. And if we hadn't stopped it, those robots could have killed everyone in Arizona.
And who are the Red Scorpions, as if we didn't already know?
The Red Scorpion Militia. They took over the old prison when we moved out. Not really much more than a raider gang. But they're starting to tell everybody that they're the real law in Arizona. And they're asking people to call them for help instead of us. Maybe they're really trying to shape up, but I doubt it. Sounds more like an old-fashioned shakedown scheme to me.
Well, thanks for the info, Woodson.
All right. Good luck out there. You'll be hearing from us.
Right, now...
Welcome back to Ranger Citadel, recruits.
Settle down, Vargas. Now, I won't lie, it's been a little while since I've played this game last, so, if I start bumbling around, I do apologise. Okay, here we got our stash box where we can put any items that we don't need immediately away, and that is what we are going to do now. We want to keep our shit, because, no, I want the radio control unit. Throw away the unusual bow for now. We want our scrap, we're about to use that in a minute. We'll store the sturdy mag. We need the Ag Center serum. What else do we need? Don't need any of that for the moment. Need the repeater unit. Ace's Ranger Star. A shiny Ranger Star. I've already got one of those, but we'll chuck that in there for now anyway. And that is all we'll do with that. Now we will meet Sergeant Tobias Nelson. And I'm talking with the wrong character. The young sergeant has the build and hardy confidence of a born jock. His neck is bigger around than his head, and his biceps strain the sleeves of his tight t-shirt. Sheesh, they haven't even assigned you your bunks yet, and already the old man sent you off on a couple do-or-die missions. Well, that's the way it goes in the Desert Rangers these days, and I'm sorry to say. So, we better get you kitted out ASAP. You ready to equip yourselves, or do you have some questions first? What do you mean do or die? Well, choosing between Hypo and Accent, it wasn't exactly easy, was it? And following up on those radio signals already killed Captain Ace. Okay, that's cold, I know, but it pissed me off. How did one of our best men die on such bullshit mission? And now Vargas is sending you to finish the job? Hey, I'm glad you found Ace's murderer, but it's not going to stop there. He's going to send you to find the same stupid signal. And, you don't think the signal was a threat? More like a waste of time, if you ask me. We got bigger troubles right here in our own backyard. Why, we gotta go chasing radio ghosts. What troubles? Well, the Red Scorpions, for one. I'm afraid if we leave them to their own devices, they're gonna get too big to put down. And how do you feel about the Red Scorpions? The biggest gang around here, and they're getting more organized every day. I say we should be going after them and leaving these bullshit radio signals alone. You like to talk about bullshit. Did you hear he was killed by a robot? I hadn't. I'd heard you'd found something weird, and were bringing it to Mer, Captain, no. And you don't think the radio mission is important? I don't know why Vargas is gung-ho to find this signal. It already killed Captain Ace, and it might kill you too. For nothing as far as I can see. It's probably just some old pre-war recorded message. There's probably no one there at all. You know Ace well. Or you knew Ace well. Ace was one of the best. All us Rangers looked up to him. Now he's dead. Murdered, and for what? So we could chase some radio signal that might or might not be a threat to us somewhere down the line? Sometimes I don't get the General's thinking at all. Is there anything we can help you with? Nah, I'm good. Well, actually, there is one thing, now that you mention it. Now that us Rangers getting active again, we're starting to use a lot more ammo, and I'm running low. To make more, I need as much brass, lead, and steel as I can get my hands on. So if you require any broken weapon parts, especially the junk that's left over from modding your weapons, bring them back to me, and I'll buy them at a premium. I like raw materials, but seeing as how the only metal we get is from our weekly leve-lupe deliveries, broken down parts of old weapons will work. And who's the old man? Oops, did I say that out loud? Don't tell Vargas I called him that. He'll hit me with his cane. What do you and you think Vargas is too old for his job? I wouldn't say that. Vargas is a good man, but, well, he's not exactly a man of action anymore, is he? I mean, he kicked ass back in the days of Base Code Chiefs and Finster, but nowadays it feels like we're all just sitting around our asses most of the time, you know? And who was Finster? Some kind of mutant master? Finster created all the mutants and tried to take over the world with them. Or something. Anyway, Vargas and the other old guys kicked his ass and made the world safe for humanity again. At least that's how Finlock tells it. And who was, what was Base Code Chiefs? As if we didn't already know. The greatest threat the Rangers ever faced. Or so all the old Rangers say. Bunch of robots in an old military base. Doesn't sound like that big of a deal to me, but whatever. I just wish something big would happen now. I'm tired of hearing old war stories. I want to live through some stories of my own. Yeah, you want to be careful what you wish for there. And how do you feel about the Rangers? A shining beacon of decency in a dark land, ain't that what the old man says? Well, we try. You can't be as honorable as the general says when you're out in the wasteland, though. Not if you want to survive. Way I see it, you be as honorable as possible, after you make sure the other guy's dead. And we have a few questions. Ask away if you want to know about any of the gear, name it. If you got questions about the Citadel, I can help you out there too. Ranger Citadel, what about it? Otherwise known as the Ranger Clubhouse, this will be your home away from home as long as you're a Ranger, and there are worse places to live, believe me. The food's good, the water's clean, and you're surrounded by the best pals. A bunch of badass desert rangers who've got your back no matter what. Who could ask for better than that? Hoo-ah! We already know about storing the equipment. Can you show us what you have available? Sure! Have a look at what we got while I get your requisition forms ready, and make sure you choose wisely. Won't last a day out in the waste without proper equipment and water. Right. I wants to sell my... No, I need to select... Oh! Haha! Haha! Ah, there we go. Broken weapon parts. 700 scrap. Is that the right massive price for them? Think so. I'll just come out. Just want to make sure... Goodbye.
Hey, Nelson. How it goes?
Again. Makings. Is this enough? Well, let's see what you got. Okay. Right, so I have activated the correct sequence. So, yes. 700 scrap for 50 broken weapon parts. Heck of a lot more than what you would have got for them selling them anywhere else. That's for darn sure. So let's see what he has available for weapons. Now, I think the first thing we're going to do is... I'm pretty sure that's the best knife Dark Raven's going to get between now and a little while. I think what I'll do is I'll just check the requisitions first, and Ranger Robert Bowling. Recruits out, me too. Better see Captain Mer, Captain Drawer on board. She always likes to welcome the new kids. Okay.
Ah, the heroes of Highpool. Welcome. I've been expecting you. Yeah.
Looking closer, you see that the woman isn't quite as useful as she seems. There are a few grey hairs among the brown and a lot of lines around her eyes, but she sketches with the keen-eyed intensity of a younger woman.
A very tough decision, considering it was your first time out. I would have picked Ag Center personally, but I understand your decision. Water is essential to the growth of the wastes. General Vargas gave me the leg from the synthetic life form you discovered. It's truly remarkable, but unnerving. I've never seen robot tech this advanced. It'll take me some time to give it a full examination. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Did the General tell you? He was so pleased that you found Ace's killer that he authorized a requisition order for you. You were to have your pick of some of my more interesting creations.
And what have you got for us?
Some very nice pieces. The General allocated a requisition for you, for completing a thorough investigation of Captain Ace's death site.
As we can see, we can get the shoe model Ranger combat knife, which does have a 70% chance to apply opened up, but as you can see, the damage is absolutely crap compared to that of the combat knife. And as you can see, there ain't nothing else worth grabbing here, and I'm not going to waste a wreck on that, so we shall just get the combat knife, I think. What do you think of General Vargas?
Vargas is a man of vision and prudence. I know a lot of the Rangers think he's too cautious, but I can't agree. Slow and steady is the way to go. He's done an amazing job rebuilding the Rangers after our war with the robots from Base Cochise, and we're stronger than ever before. That doesn't mean, however, that we should now go charging off to fight everybody and their brother. We must expand gradually and fully assess all threats before taking action.
What threats do we face?
The others say that our biggest threat is the Red Scorpion militia, who have taken over the prison which used to be our headquarters. They've been getting more organized and settled, and the fear is, now that they've established themselves, they'll start expanding their borders. What I say is, this will make them easier to negotiate with. Nomadic raiders have nothing to lose. A clan with towns and farms to protect thinks twice about risking their destruction by going to war. I say our biggest threat is expanding too fast. Let's make sure the communities we patrol are fully protected before we go looking for more.
Let's get a take on what was Base Cochise.
A pre-war research facility dedicated to the science of robotics. Its mainframe was malfunctioning and kept building more and more robots and sending them out to defend itself against imaginary enemies. The Rangers destroyed the computer and the robots and saved the world, which is, of course, a good thing, but, well, I wish I had been a Ranger then. From all reports, the sophistication of the computer's AI was incredible, and its death was a great loss to science. I can't help thinking that, had I been there, I might have been able to find a way to shut it down without destroying it. What a tool for good it could have been.
And you knew we were coming.
Every new recruit the General brings in gets around to visiting us eventually. The weapons and armor we make are what keep them alive, after all. Most are curious where they come from. I imagine you're no exception.
And you make weapons here?
Well, that's a bit of a misnomer. We do make some of them, the really interesting ones. But mostly what we do here is refurbish scavenged weapons and armor. One thing we hope our Rangers will do is collect any broken down weapon parts, stray bits left over from modding, what have you, that they find as they patrol the wastes and bring them back here, to Nelson, over in the Quartermaster's office. In exchange, he'll buy it off you at a great markup.
And what's Sergeant Nelson like?
He knows his guns, I'll give him that. Though I wouldn't have him in my shop. He's not nearly focused enough.
And what was this you were saying about interesting weapons? I'm interested.
Huh. The interesting ones are my department. I'm always trying to come up with new and better weapons and armor using bits and bobs we have lying around. Can't just give them away, though. Creating them takes a lot of our precious resources, so the General is pretty tight with the requisition orders.
We already know how to get requisition orders, so what kind of armor do you have?
We have everything from sturdy leather jackets to hand-forged plates, to the finest reconditioned pre-war combat armor we can find. You'll have to pay for the more expensive items. Research and repair doesn't come free, but we aren't out to make a profit. Just to recoup our expenses. I've got some custom, interesting armor, but the General's orders are to save those for special loadouts only.
Didn't mean to click then, but never mind. What kind of weapons do you have?
We service, repair, and reinvent every kind of weapon, from knives and handguns to rifles, even energy weapons, when we can get our hands on them. We don't do explosives, though. That's TNT Tan's department.
Go talk to Sergeant Nelson if you're looking to purchase your armaments. I only issue my interesting pet projects if you get a requisition order. And what do you think of TNT Tan?
Nicest guy you could ever want to meet, but shall we say, less than cautious? He's nearly blown himself up more than once. He likes creating experimental explosives just like I like working on experimental weapons and armor. Though I dare say my safety record is a trifle better than his.
Okay.
Thanks for visiting, recruits. Come by anytime.
Good to
And go
see
see
you,
Sergeant
Captain.
Nelson if you're looking to shop. Likewise, Captain Death.